All right, it's Wednesday night, Ken, and we're
Oh,
starting like early, maybe.
yeah.
We're
We've been
starting
early a couple times now.
10 minutes early. So here we go, guys.
Let's do it.
I've been running scams on the street since I was 10. I've been running scams on the street since I was 10.
Hey, hey, Mike, what do you see? A falcon that inflates for free. Hey, hey, Ken, what's the drill? Blue milk sipping gives me a thrill. The inflatable falcon takes the flight. George Lucas dreams in the starry night. Costume shop, we're dressed to play. Let's blast off into the fray. Left, right, left, we're marching through. Cosplay helmets and a saber or two. Hey, hey, Mike, what's the plan? To nerd out harder than anyone can. The inflatable falcon takes the flight. George Lucas dreams in the starry night. Costume shop, we're dressed to play. Let's blast off into the fray. So grab your gear and join the crew. Mike and Ken got a show for you. Laughs and stars and a galaxy far. The Falcon's ready, let's raise the bar. Hey! 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 Hey, hey, Mike, what do you see? A falcon that inflates for free. Hey, hey, Ken, what's the drill? Blue milk sipping gives me a thrill. The inflatable falcon takes the flight. George Lucas dreams in the starry night. Costume shop, we're dressed to play. Let's blast off into the fray. Left, right, left, we're marching through. Cosplay helmets and a saber or two. Hey, hey, Mike, what's the plan? To nerd out harder than anyone can. The inflatable falcon takes the flight. George Lucas dreams in the starry night. Costume shop, we're dressed to play. Let's blast off into the fray. So grab your gear and join the crew. Mike and Ken got a show for you. Laughs and stars and a galaxy.
And we're still 10 minutes early.
And Slender Spartan's here with us. Very cool. Good to see you, buddy.
Yes, first one in again. Why is my text? I can never get that text to be just right. Yeah, we'll see. Let's see. Come on. Make it just a little bigger. All right, that'll work. Yeah, Ken. So it's Wednesday night. It's the Wednesday after the new Star Wars movie that we haven't had in forever.
Yeah.
So
What a Star Wars movie it is.
we'll hold off on that just to get all the important. I don't know if we call it important stuff. Get all the other stuff out of the way. First off, where can people find you, Ken? Before we get started on anything.
So when I'm not in the engineer seat here on the Falcon, I'm occasionally bounty hunting across the galaxy with our buddy Todd. I've been on the Bantha Milk podcast a couple times in recent weeks. I did 2 episodes with Rob talking about the last 4 episodes of the Mall Show. And then if things go smoothly within the next couple weeks, I'm going to have a couple episodes of the Rambling Star Wars Fan out there for folks to listen to. I want to do one about Maul because I haven't done one about Maul, and I want to do one about this incredible movie experience that I've had over the last month or so. And how
Nice.
about you? I know you got a whole bunch of stuff happening.
Well, I'm not taking over Bantha Milk podcast like you are, but I do have the Inflatable Falcon every Wednesday night. I have 501st Cast, which our May episode is coming out. Our June episode is coming out. It's a weird recording time because it was like recorded before Mando Grogu, so it's a weird time to record. And Karita Cast, once in a while, me and Sappy do that. And Star Wars Geek Girl, I help out with that. So that is our introductions to where we're at. A few more things. Have you worked on any costumes?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I
There
have.
we go.
I did some work tonight actually. I was able to get
Oh, nice.
some more of that color shift paint. I had to resand this because this little section right here,
Yeah.
you could see the print lines in it, and I'm
Uh,
glad to say that you can't see them anymore.
Good. Good.
And then I've got the little section here that's going to have some other apparatus, and I got to figure out what I want to do here. What I might do for now is just put a temporary slot in there
Okay.
with a QR code. So when I go out to events, folks can scan the QR code and get connected to all of our shows or
Oh, that's cool.
my Instagram or whatever. And I've also been working on um, trying to update how I store my kit in my kit box. And I've recently figured out that I can pack it away in luggage. And what
Oh,
I've
nice.
found is these pictures at Ollie's, and they're just the right size to store my gauntlets in.
Oh, nice.
So I can wrap them up. I've got the lid that locks on, and so this will go right in my kit box, and it'll protect it from bouncing around and having things smash into it to possibly take away the shiny paint.
That's awesome.
What have you worked on lately?
Anthony's here with us. Let's see.
Hey, buddy.
So I finished since we last talked, I finished my custom Mandos to wear to the premiere. So
Nice.
you saw
They
my
look
custom.
awesome.
I don't think they were as custom as people thought they were going to be, but I got a kick out of wearing it. So
Well, I'm going to guess that the people in the crowd got a kick out of it too.
I think so. I'm not sure how the Mando Mercs took it. I think they took it with a good stride too, but I'm sure I'm sure I shocked them in a good and bad way. I didn't mean to take away from their Mando religion or anything like that. But yeah, I finished that. And you know what I learned from that, I think, because I was doing them quickly, because I literally from start to finish on the helmet spent maximum, I think, 2 days, maybe 3 maximum
Okay.
and I found that wet sanding and Bondo is still my fastest and quickest way to get done what I need to get done.
Okay.
All the other fancy stuff with resin and this and that, and what literally just put Bondo, wet sanded it, did the other one, and then there's still a few minor print lines, but overall, like if I would have spent another 24 hours on them, I probably wouldn't have had any print lines. So I still think, for me, I think that's the method that just is in my. I don't know if it's just years and years of working on cars or what, that just seems to work the best. Because I tried with resin on stuff, and I just haven't found that quick formula that the Bondo and Bondo or whatever, glazing putty or whatever that stuff is called, the red.
Yeah. Glazing putty. It's glazing and spot putty.
Yeah, I just feel, I think for me at least, that is my best go-to, I think.
Now, with this particular set of armor that you did you just do straight Bondo or did you thin it out with acetone at all?
I didn't even thin it with acetone because I didn't have it. I bought acetone the last day, so like I was like, I better just to have it. And I was just in I was like, I'm not going to put any acetone because I got to get paint on this thing. Because my biggest worry for building that costume was I wanted all the paint to be fumed out because I just didn't want to be rude to the people I was going to see it with. So I didn't
Yeah.
want paint fumes or any kind. I just wanted to be 100%, mindful of someone's first. I didn't want to, choke out a little kid that never saw Star Wars before.
Or
So
choke yourself out of them if you're putting that thing
yeah,
on your head.
but yeah, I was happy with the way the buckets came out, and I can't undersell the tape method of just layer painting. And I just lucked out those couple days. It was like really hot. Like I was painting and taping off within like 6 hours of each other, and it worked out
Nice.
pretty decently. So
Yeah. Sometimes
and
when
they,
things when the stars align, you get able to knock out a whole bunch of stuff at once.
well, yeah, they came out. I mean, they were literally buckets that I didn't realize I had sitting in my garage. So they, I don't remember when I printed them. And I think like the earpieces, some were cracked and some were warped. So I just filled it in with super glue gel, kicked it, and then painted it silver so it looks like a bad weld on the one earpiece of Sappy's. Just
Nice.
anything. I was just like, you know what? I'll get a paint pen and make it look like a mistake. I did fill in the dent in Sappy's, and it came out pretty decent. It cracked a little bit because when you put that putty quick and thick. So I just did that too.
Well,
So
the other thing too, I think there's a lot to be said for building a costume strictly for fun and not approval.
yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
you can sit down, put your plan together, and just knock it out, knowing that the only eyes that this has to be good for are yours.
right,
Yes,
right.
you want folks to enjoy it and get some appreciation out of it or whatever, but ultimately it's like this is for fun. This is I want to show up and wear this and just have a good time in it.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't. The helmet, I could probably repurpose that into some armor and stuff, but I don't know of how many times I'll wear this outfit. Um, so
Yeah, but it could honestly be one of your casual con outfits.
that's true. I did think of wearing it to uh, Fan Expo this weekend, except when you buy an economy tracksuit, it's basically you're wrapped in polyester, and depending on the temperature,
Yeah, good point.
it's it's not the most comfortable thing to wear. But yeah, I thought about it. I wore my Van Star Wars sneakers with it, and I forgot how uncomfortable those sneakers are. I was like, why don't I ever wear these? And about an hour in, I was like, oh, now I know why I never wear these.
Because they're probably just flat soles too,
Yeah, it's
right?
just a flat sole, so I was like, yeah. But yeah, Anthony says he's working on Moncal TK, Return of the Jedi. Oh yeah, I haven't seen that. There's very few Return of the Jedi ones. DL19.
Good to see you, Jim.
Yeah.
New to the show.
And then we got the Moncal TK home and everything. Okay. Yeah, see very few Return of the Jedi TKs around. Empires, the black the black thing, is I always stand out in that. But yeah, I worked on those, and then I think that's all I did. I did get some pictures for Vader because my one co-host on the 501st has a Vader, so he sent me some pictures of all the strapping in the back of the helmet that he uses. So I'm getting to that point where I just have to like drill some holes in that helmet, and it's freaking me out. So
Yeah, just saying that out loud freaks me out.
yeah. So, but yeah, so then we can move right into troops then. So we got costumes. So troops, I didn't troop any. If I just went, I didn't get to troop any of just, this is not a time of year for me right now to be trooping, but how many troops did you do so far, Ken?
So since last week, I did one official, and
Okay.
that was at Schenkweiler's Drive-In. It's in Orfield, Pennsylvania.
Is that the one with two?
No, just one.
Oh, okay.
The
Okay.
one with two is called Becky's Drive-In, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right.
But they're fairly close. They're probably within, um, less than an hour away from each other.
Okay.
Um, I was there with Todd from Bounty Hunting Across the Galaxy, and our buddy Dan, who's also in the Maviola clan from Pennsylvania. So the three of us were out in the rain at a drive-in, and we had a fun time. They had somebody doing face painting and making like balloon animal Grogu's,
Wait, but
and the
was all
fun.
the face paint that people just had look like runny mascara?
It wasn't too bad actually. I don't know
Oh,
how
okay.
she did it, but it actually was pretty waterproof. Um, and they were selling inflatable lightsabers, and the owners and managers of this drive-in could not be nicer. I
Nice.
mean, Matt
That's
and Lauren were just super kind, super supportive. They told us anything we wanted from the concession stand, just tell them that we're with the Mercs, and they would get us what we wanted. And of course, I bought stuff anyway because I felt guilty just going in and taking a whole bunch of stuff. But it was fun. It was the three of us. We trooped for maybe an hour and a half.
yeah.
And the running joke was the rain would lighten up and it felt like it was not raining. So inevitably someone would say, well, at least it's not raining now. And then as soon as they said it, it started getting misty, and but it was super fun. And then on Friday and Sunday, I went in my costume to a local theater and just was there greeting the moviegoers, getting pictures with them, and just having a good old time. I don't think it'll count as an official troop because they didn't submit for invitation or invasion or anything like that. I was just there, and they were also super nice, super kind. They gave me a great place to change in, and always asked me if I wanted anything to eat or drink so that was pretty cool. And I bumped into our buddy Anthony.
Oh,
He's
nice.
yeah,
Nice.
he came to the theater. He was there on Thursday night, and then he also showed up on Sunday, and we had a nice conversation in line, as he
Nice.
was getting ready to watch the Mandalorian and Grogu for the second time.
Well, I would encourage anyone. So this is what I did when Force Awakens came out. I I think it was Force Awakens. One of the Star Wars movies, the theater didn't have us to troop. So I called like a week in and said, "When's your last showing?" And a bunch of us went out and trooped it. And then ever since then they've had us. So I would encourage anyone, if your local theater doesn't know about us, you know what I mean? Um,
Yeah,
do
so
all
as
that.
Todd put in there, we are the outstanding members of the Moist Mando Society.
That sounds like a patch. That sounds like that's you know how some people like love to do patch runs?
Yes,
That sounds like a patch in and of itself. So
yes, 100%. Yes, we were joking about that too. Either a
um
patch or a T-shirt.
yeah. Well, that's cool. So yeah, so did you see it every time you trooped?
Um, so I saw it at the drive-in, and truth be told, I fell asleep during part of it, because the car was so warm and comfortable and everything. Um, and then I saw bits and pieces of it when I was at the theater, and they gave me passes to go back and see it again. How about you?
Well, so I saw it Friday night. So Safi and I went as our custom Mandos. Um and so we got there like normally where I live. I don't live far from the theater. But if you live in Lancaster, crossing the highway on a Thursday or Friday night, like someone can go from Reading to the theater quicker than I can go, even though I'm like half the distance. It's just like traffic galore. And for some reason, we didn't hit traffic, so we got there almost an hour early. We were planning on getting there so we literally like got our tickets and we just wandered around between the theaters. Like we trooped our own little troop, and got a bunch of pictures with people. I haven't pumped gas on the way there. Put my helmet on. Some dude ran up to me while I was getting gas and wanted to get a picture with me. So, which I thought was pretty funny. And then we planned. Me and Safi decided we were going to wear our helmets until uh, um,
Till the movie started.
until the movie started. So we wore them like as soon as we sat in our seats, and then we realized, oh crap, we have this big bucket of popcorn and a helmet, and the IMAX seats are not very big. So that was a little tough. That was a non-thinking. I should have got a medium popcorn. I could have flipped it over and set it in my helmet. Um, so, but I also did. I should have said in costuming. I found this lens material that I think I like for lenses better than welders lenses. And it's filter material. It's a little you got to be careful putting it in because you can warp it and stuff. Like you can make it look crinkled. It's not quite that thin, but if you're not careful. But I put one in and it was kind of light, so I put Velcro around the outside of it on the inside of the helmet and just put another one in. So if I go at night, I could just pull that inner lens off, and it's not too dark.
Oh, that's
And
very cool.
and it's not, like I said, it's not bowed. And so depending, like the helmets I had, they were both Galactic Armory helmets, but one was an older model, so it was just flat. So I just did like you do on a typical Mando, just glue the outside and put it on. But the other one had grooves in it, and I slid the lens in and just put tape right here, and it held it in because it had the
Nice.
built-in grooves to hold it in. So
And you can't see your eyes through the front.
can't see your eyes with the single lens. You can with the single, but when I put the double, you couldn't. Mainly, it was my big snozola, like coming up. You could see the white nose. I was like, I got to put something in there. So, but yeah, Anthony, I don't know if my email will reach me down here. I don't have my email. So we'll have to do a. Maybe what we'll do is we'll do a call out for people trooping Mando Grogu, and we'll put them up our next show. We'll put some pictures.
Yeah, let's
up.
do that because I do have some pictures from the Moist Mando Society at the drive-in, and then I have a couple pictures from the theater. And this weekend we have in Philadelphia the 2026 Fan Expo.
Nice.
So that starts Thursday and we'll go through Sunday, and I'll be trooping that a couple days.
Oh, yeah, Anthony, set them the 501st cast. Yes. I mean, I'll use them for both, but we've recorded June's already, but the Mando Grogu stuff will probably be put on the July stuff just because of the way the recording date. It was just May was a weird month because we recorded May's before May the 4th, and we recorded the June one before Mando Grogu. So yeah, Zoe says see it in 4DX. Yeah, I haven't gone.
We
to
don't
see
have
it.
any theaters close to us that have 4DX seating.
King of Prussia. That's the closest. So, yeah. So let's talk about Mando and Grogu. So you got to see it with all the fancy people. Spartan's going to Fan Expo too. Good.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll be
very
there with
cool.
Nitro and Ken from Ken's going to be working it. I'm going to be working it with the microphone. But I'll be there with Nitro from 501st Cast. So we'll be doing some stuff too. So
Are
I'm
you
just
bringing your 360 camera?
I am. I got to check. My battery was acting weird, and I couldn't. Last time I went to order a battery, it was out of stock. So I might have to see if I can find a juice pack that'll plug into it. But I'd like to bring my 360 camera. I think that would be fun.
Nice.
But oh, okay. Yeah, Anthony says hi to Zoe too. Yeah, so you went and saw it with all the Mandos in California.
Yes.
What was your initial reaction seeing that, like in that environment?
Well, there was a certain energy that I don't think can be repeated in any way, shape, or form
Yeah.
because of everything that led up to sitting in the seat. And I was joking around that I don't think my feet have touched the ground since because I've just been this high energy nervousness and excitement around it. And the there were cheers and exclamations during the movie that were all like well placed and well timed and appreciated, and um, it was really really cool to experience it with that many supportive folks.
Yeah.
I mean, just milling about in the lobby afterwards. There was cheers and high fives and just this outpouring of of appreciation and excitement and revelry around this movie. And then afterwards, I hung out with some of the folks that watched it. We just had grand old time talking about how great we thought it was, from top to bottom, beginning to end, just how cool that movie really was from our perspective. And then I've seen it a couple times since, and I've talked to some people that weren't at the premiere and aren't connected to any costuming club or podcast, and the reviews have been wildly mixed.
Really wildly mixed.
Like, I mean, to the extent of I heard someone actually say, I didn't like that at all.
Really?
Like, he didn't say he hated it. He didn't go that extreme, but he said the words, I didn't like that movie at all. Like,
Yeah, I find that odd. Of
yes.
I don't, because I don't know what Star Wars movie you would like then if for some reason that didn't tickle your funny bone a little bit, you know? Because it had like I think one of the things I liked about it, many things, but one of the things I liked about it is you did not have to know anything about anything to watch it. Like, you know,
Well, I
and
think that's part of what, because we did talk for a little bit after. 'Cause I was shocked. I was shocked that this was the response. And from this person's perspective, they went in wanting to see A, B, and C, and they didn't see those things. And because they didn't see those things, the whole movie just got, pitched to the side and no appreciation for
I guess, yeah. I mean, you know, I think like one of the things I realized when I was watching it, and this is kind of weird, um, the oldest, like not canon character, like canon timeline, but the oldest character that we knew about, like that has been with the fandom the longest, was Rod of the Hutt.
it.
Like if
Yeah,
you think about it,
yeah.
Rod of the Hutt came at the beginning of the Clone Wars.
2008.
There's no other character in that movie that I can think of that was in as long that we've known about. Can
Yeah,
you?
that's probably the oldest one. Yes.
And I thought, how great is that? Because I remember Zoe as a what 7 or 8, however old she was, arguing with 501st members about how great the Clone Wars movie was, and and she loved Stinky the Hut and all of this stuff. And that character has withstood the test of time. So
Well, to me, I think that just that alone, you know, links back to what Dave and John said about season one of The Mandalorian, and that was, they were two kids playing with the hand-me-down toys, playing with the toys that their brothers or cousins didn't want, and so they got the other ones. So
yeah,
they made TV shows and movies about them, and Rada is a perfect example of that too.
yeah,
He's like, who who would have guessed in 2026 that there would be a movie where a Hutt played a major role in it? And not only did he play a major role in it, he played a major role in it as a likable character
right,
and played a
right,
major role in it that may show up in other stuff.
right. Well, and then the other thing is, other than some pilots and some quick villains, none of the main characters you saw their faces. Like, because I mean,
Oh,
saw
Grogu.
the fake faces you saw, but I mean, like real, actual human faces. You know, you saw Pedro Pascal for a few, but the rest, Zeb is computer generated.
Yep.
Uh, Grogu's a puppet, and Zellans are puppets. Um, uh, I guess Rada's a CGI slash mocap slash who knows.
Well, slash puppet. There's some behind the
Oh,
scenes.
okay, so
Have you seen,
yeah,
have you seen the behind the scenes pictures of like the gladiator fight?
yeah. That's what I'm
You know?
saying. Like, so it's amazing. It's amazing, you know. And I guess if you went in and maybe, but that's with all Star Wars movies. It's with even the Mando, like the people that complained about the Mandalorian season 1 were the ones that wanted a Boba Fett series. And then the people that complained about a Boba Fett series wanted a different Boba Fett. And the
Yes.
people that didn't like, they played with their toys differently, I guess.
Or maybe the problem is they didn't play with their
Well,
toys.
maybe.
Like, and I'm going to steal your thunder for a moment. And you've talked about this in several episodes of ours, and I love it because it's so accurate, and it harkens back to Empire Strikes Back with Luke on Dagobah. You get out of this what you bring in with you.
Right.
So if you're going into the movie with lots of expectations, and if you're going into a movie with the script written and the scenes already designed before you see it, there's a good chance that you'll be disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah, I was disappointed there was no hip hop Mando.
Yeah,
But
I didn't. There was no dance battle that I saw.
well, and then there was so much stuff. So when we talk about them playing with their toys, I also looked at some of that and I was like, oh, they got the Din figure has the wrong pistol. Because remember when he was chasing them through the woods, he had that. It was almost like a post-Imperial pistol because he lost his. And then when he went to put it in his holster, it didn't quite fit when he went in the gunrunner ship. But then he found, like, I picture when you say them, like John Favreau lost his big rifle for his Mando figure, but then he found another one and he just I was so happy that he got his rifle back. I was so happy that he got his ship back.
Well, what's funny though is so we know that Razor Crest in this movie is not Din's original ship
Right.
and we know that because we paid attention to the movie.
Right.
But there are people saying, "Oh, and of course they rebuilt Din's ship." No, they didn't.
Right.
They didn't. They did not rebuild it. If you had watched the movie, if you had listened to the dialogue, you would have found out that this ship is not Din's ship. It's now his because it was gifted to him. It was given to him as payment. But this thing you're looking at is not what he started off with.
Right. Well, and it is what you said. If you followed along, like there was some really cool points put in where they did so much explanation, and they did this in Book of Boba Fett, and they did this in Mandalorian as well, where they did a whole bunch of explanation in one or two sentences. Like I heard people complaining, well, why didn't they just come rescue Mandu right away? But there was that line where he said to Sigourney Weaver, "We're taking a break for a while." So no one is like he was missing. They didn't know he was until the Anzellans got back. They would have not known he was missing because they thought he was taking a break. No one's. I don't picture them, doing a welfare check on Mando. If he doesn't seem like someone who's always texting you every day.
Yeah.
Look what I'm eating. So
I know we're not at this point yet, but I am gonna say two things about this movie that I didn't like.
okay,
One is that there wasn't any IG-11 or
okay,
IG-12 or whatever. And so three things. Sorry, no, there wasn't IG-11 or IG-12, whichever the I can't remember which version of IG it was.
right,
That we didn't get anything specifically about Grief Karga on
right,
Navarro. Yes, he was not Grief Cargo wasn't mentioned, but there was Arabesh that said Weathers Apollo. And if you weren't paying attention, you would have missed it. And it wasn't longer. Like I think it was so great, and I like Star Wars, and so the more the Star Wars, the happier I am. So those are the only three things of the entire movie that I didn't like.
yeah. Yeah, I would
And
agree. I would agree with most. I think I would agree with most of those points. But I also am kind of glad some of that's not in because then that opens up for season 4.
Yeah, for sure.
And the one thing I did like was I liked that Brendan Wayne and Lakeith, what's his name, got second and third billing, which is really nice.
Yes.
So I mean, I was glad he got his stuff back. The Anzellans were very reminiscent of the stop motion. The the pit fight when you looked at the floor and you saw the Jarek table chess pieces on it and stuff. It kind of made like, oh, Jarek is a copy of another game. It's a copy of a death match. Which I thought was really cool.
And all of those monsters were there.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. The monsters were there. I like the speeder chase scene
Which one?
when they were chasing them and Grogu was firing the rockets by accident, which I thought was
Oh,
pretty.
so when they went out to um, get a coin,
And this comes back to my
Lord Janu.
this comes back to my Batman rant on showing previews. I understand why they have to show previews, and I'm so glad I got to see the first half hour and all of that stuff. But man, I want a Star Wars movie where they're so confident that they don't show previews. I don't know about you. You know what I'm saying? Like just show me.
Yeah, I mean, it would be an interesting approach to take. I mean, who knows? Maybe that's what they'll do for Jedi Starfighter.
Yeah, I just that first half hour that we had already seen. I was happy I saw it, but man, I really wish I wouldn't have saw it when I went to see it for the first time. I mean, it was just as good the third and fourth time I saw it, but man, that was like pure Mando. I even sat and watched 10 minutes of it in Fortnite one night because if you go to the Mando, they have a
In
theater where you can
Navarro,
watch it
the
in
view farm.
Fortnite. Um,
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Someone said IG 11 got cut from the movie. That's cool. Maybe it'll be in the extended version. Did he have
Oh,
did IG 11 have a contract dispute? He wanted second billing.
yeah,
What was it? I think in Mando season 1 they just stuck an action figure in front of the camera for some of the scenes. Is that if I remember correctly?
that part I don't know.
But no, I mean, where was I going with anything? I don't know. That first part, man, you got to see the inside of an AT-AT because I always wondered why I was like, what do you have in that thing?
Well, you got to see the inside of an AT-AT, and you got to see a mini rig in action.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah, that was definitely someone got a toy in 1983 and was like, "Oh, thanks for nothing, mom." you know.
Well, I mean, it goes back to what I was saying about them before, playing with these. I mean, playing with these action figures and stuff like that, because rarely, rarely do some of those things that we played with show up again. Especially, those toys from the '80s where they were just made um, as toys and nothing else. You didn't see them in the movies. You didn't. I don't remember reading about them in the comics or the novels or whatever.
Yeah, no. I mean, they were I mean, that was a desperate, um a desperate toy. But I liked the inside of that. I like Grogu panning on his helmet with the timers and stuff. Um, the yeah, it was just to see the Hutta. Now I'm hoping like what would be really cool is if Rod of the Hut becomes a chef for the Republic, and then they just make like the bear, but instead of the bear, it'll be like the blob or something like that, and it would just be because they could just have just do the same show, but all in Star Wars characters.
Well, they could do the chef with Hugo Durant
Yeah,
as the chef.
well, right, but the guy who does the voice is the guy who does the bear.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and I liked the Martin Scorsese character. And was that the egg that he was getting the cheese sauce out of?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
I thought I saw it, and
Well,
then
I don't think it wasn't cheese that I think he's
no,
just getting like, yeah,
whatever that egg
I
juice is. I'm
think
saying,
he's getting egg, like yolk, egg,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
How
Suka.
much would that cost? Like if you ran that, like do they have like a farm of those? Like do they have a farm of mudhorns?
Maybe. I
Is it
mean,
like the eggs are like white if you get them from the factory mudhorn farms, but you have to go to
if
like
they're pasteurized,
the organic Amish
well, organic and free range.
free
Are they
range
free range
mudhorns, you know?
mudhorns?
Yeah. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Um,
And did
But
you see the little creature from Captain EO?
no.
So Captain EO had a whole bunch of different creatures in it. And for those of you that don't remember, Captain EO was an attraction at Disney World that was directed partially by Francis Ford Coppola, and it starred Michael Jackson and was it Sissy Spacek? I can't remember who the main villain was, but in that brief movie, as part of the attraction, there were these little winged creatures, and those little winged creatures showed up in the Mandalorian and Grogu.
Oh, okay. I did like how the Anzellan ship was so small that it looked like it just flew with the birds.
Yeah, it reminded me of the escape pod from the Falcon in Solo.
Oh yeah, where you lay down flat. Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah.
reminded me that side. Or no, Rise of Skywalker. Was
You
it
know,
Rise of
they
Skywalker?
I think the Anzellans could have strapped Mando on top of that ship.
Yeah, but I don't think Mando's flight suit is sealed.
No, I don't think so either. But they could have at least got him to a safer space. You know.
Yeah, Fuzzball. That's the character's
Yeah.
name from Captain EO. Fuzzball.
So I've never seen Captain EO, so
What?
I
Well, you're
wasn't a
gonna have
Disney person. But I think Captain EO might have been there the first time we went, and maybe when I was a kid. But I wasn't. I was that was my love for Disney until I went as an adult and loved
So
it
I'll
even more.
find the YouTube video because now you can watch the entire movie. And at the time, and I know this isn't a Disney or Captain EO podcast, but at the time, that that little video was the most expensive movie ever made.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Zoe says they were in Skeleton Crew too. I don't know,
yeah, they were in uh, the pirate port,
but
around the same place where Teak was.
so like from a costuming standpoint, it does make me want to do a Din Djarin. Like I watched that and I liked.
The
I
best
still
guard in Djarin?
no, I still like the Pinto armor. I'm still Camp Pinto armor, but it does make me like, oh, I really, I'm trying. Don't add it to your list, Mike, but it's that soft goods. It's the soft goods. But now I was looking at all the people looking at the soft goods at Disney, and that gives me hope, you know. So for the Under Armour, because my biggest problem with the Under Armour now is I don't know any seamstress that, and the ones you order from like Cosplay Sky and stuff, I just sizing wise, I feel like it scares me because you kind of have to take a good guess. So, um, oh, there we go. Skeleton Crew premiere was at Captain EO Theater. Oh, I got you. So I didn't see the Skeleton Crew premiere. Didn't you and me Ken see that at King of Prussia? Skeleton Crew, you and me.
Yes,
Yeah, Skeleton
we
Crew.
saw Skeleton Crew and Acolyte, I thought.
Yeah, Skeleton Crew Acolyte. Okay. Yeah, I saw it. So yeah, that dragon, that white snake bite or whatever that is. Yeah.
That was like the third or fourth time we'd seen that creature in Star Wars.
That what?
I think that's the third or fourth time we've seen that creature in Star Wars because
Yeah.
it was in the Clone Wars cartoon. We saw. I think that might even be the same creature that was on Dagobah that snatched up R2 and then spit him out.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think that was one of those. I think that
One of
was
those
a
type
trans-
like a subspecies of like, was that like a special albino or are they just all white like that?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You know, but yeah, I like the ending of the movie. Like I thought the ending was really cool. Like, I don't know. It ended not quite as hopeful like with the ceremony of New Hope, but it had that same hopefulness, like, dad and son are together again and going to conquer the
Well,
universe.
they're together again with a strengthened relationship, and some of the other characters are strengthening their
Yeah.
relationship.
Oh yeah.
So Zeb and Rada, and even the Anzellans got in the mix with that too. They
Yeah.
were all going to go into the bar on the Delphi
Yeah.
station
Yeah.
and have drinks together.
Well, you know what was kind of neat too was that the father and son relationship of um Jabba and Rada were contrast against the father son relationship of Grogu and Mando. So you have
Yeah,
that adopted family, and you have that blood relation, and it showed the dynamics of both. Like there's not a right or a wrong one. I mean, there's a right way to treat your family, but one isn't normal and one isn't not normal.
yeah.
You know.
Well,
So
and the relationship Rada with him and his father also, I think, harkened back to um, Ray's concern about being a Palpatine.
yeah, yeah,
That kind of thing. Like, oh, does my, she wanted her family. She wanted a family. She wanted to know about her parents and all those connections. And found, became concerned that she was, a Palpatine. So is that going to, ruin her destiny because of that relationship?
first run on that and Zellens. But yeah, I liked when Grogu packed up the one when he took one thermal detonator. I was like, what? Take more than one, kid. Take more than one. But that one thermal detonator, you know, it it
Grogu
it
doesn't have pockets.
that's true. It did harken back, which what I liked um about this, it harkened back to New Hope and even Empire Strikes Back too, and Jedi. The the absurdity and the enjoyability of coincidence. Like, just you happened to be here at this time and then it all worked out. Like there happened to be a bridge in the Death Star, but Luke happened to grab one of the few stormtroopers that had the grappling hook, Like Han Solo's didn't have a grappling hook. You know what I mean? Like I like the absurdity of coincidence that makes the story good. And I
Well,
feel like
and we also don't spend, we don't spend countless hours with how come Luke's had it and how because the
right.
story needed it. That's
Right.
that's
But
all we
that's what I'm
need
saying.
to.
Like I like it when it's like, oh, there's a gun runner ship. Oh, well, we need guns. Like it's just so good. You know. Yeah, the Force works in mysterious ways. That's. I think that'll just be my answer when someone complains about something. The Force works in mysterious ways. Um, don't let reality get in the way of a story. Oh yeah, you can't carry too much. He's whittle. Yeah. Um,
I think
but
one of my it was on Sunday, um, and I was standing outside the theater when folks were coming out of one of the viewings, and this lady came up, put her arm around me. She goes, "I think I'm the oldest Star Wars fan here, and I gotta say, I loved watching every minute of it."
nice.
So and then there were people there with either their kids or their grandkids or whatever, and they were coming out and having a good old time. It was really nice to see excitement and fun being had, all linked to this fancy Star Wars story.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, we had so I went and saw it a second time with Missy at the smaller theater. She didn't she was like, "Ah, I don't care if I see it in um IMAX." So we went and saw it, in a regular theater. And it was a good range of people, that saw it um with us, which I thought was pretty cool. Um the one family next to me was like a guy with three kids, and those kids they were probably way too young to be in that movie there. He just spent most of the movie taking one kid to the bathroom. I was like, I'm so glad I already saw it once before, you know. Um, but I was having flashbacks of when Safi was afraid of Ventress when the first couple times, because I don't know, Safi was like 4 or something, or 5. When did Clone Wars come out?
2008.
Yeah, so Safi would have been 4, almost turning 5. And she, every time Ventress came on screen, she had to go to the bathroom. So, you know, she was afraid of Ventress.
Well, she
But
was
yeah.
creepy. She looked like she was like either a ghost or a monster. Or
Well, in that
I don't know.
that first movie, it was your mind had to get used to that marionette style.
Yeah, that
The
animation style was unique.
the one thing I really did like was all the custom droids. Like the custom battle droids that were like pieced together, you know, with they just looked cool, and they almost did what the clones did in a sense. Um Here we go, let me see. Oh, okay. We'll probably record the third weekend of the month, somewhere around there. So uh for June. No. June,
July,
July.
because you already recorded June's.
June's already been recorded. Yeah. So we'll record in June. We'll record in June for July. Um
I do find it funny, speaking of the droids, when they put clothes on them for
yeah,
any reason. It doesn't matter whether it's 2 boots
yeah.
or a cape, a poncho, a fur, shoulder pads,
Well,
or whatever.
that's what I'm saying. Well, I wonder, just like the clones developed personality and started changing up, you know, their hairstyle and their armor. Is that what happened to the droids? Like, did the droids, like, at a certain point, like, did they go past what was expected of their memory, and they started to make, you know,
Yeah, I don't
different
know.
choices?
'Cause I
I
can't
just
imagine it would be because they're cold or I need someplace to carry my keys, so I got to wear pants so I have pockets.
Yeah. Well, but I do think some of the droids had pain sensors installed, right? Because think about the Gonk droid getting its feet burnt in Jabba's torture palace.
Yeah, but I don't know do you think they feel temperature?
Well, I
Like I
don't
think they
know.
understand temperature. Like if it gets too cold, my circuits might freeze up or whatever. But I don't know if it's the same kind of sensation as us feeling cold.
Well, but if depending on how they're built, if it gets too hot, maybe it could make their circuits work like not well,
Yeah, maybe.
and
Yeah,
that
maybe.
could be a pain.
That good point.
Freed battle droids. I just thought all the battle droids just got crumbled up. Oh yeah, Zoe says read Most Wanted. Zoe just needs to do a whole book recommendations based on every movie because she's read every book. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm trying. I did that movie. There was so much. Oh yeah, the Radical Droids Rights movie. Yeah, with um L3. So Triple Zero, one of my favorite droids. Yeah, I mean, we could probably do. It's funny how jam packed that movie was with stuff. Like I'm
Yes,
thinking, like I didn't even talk about like finally got to see the underneath of a snowtrooper's um
his cowl or
veil
whatever
or
it's
whatever
called.
that thing is,
Yeah,
which I thought was pretty cool. You know, poor Mando those guys were still getting dressed, and Mando just like took them out, came in through the butt, and just you know.
either
So
set him on fire, blasted them,
one poor guy,
dropped
he
heavy
set him on
things on
fire
them.
and then still shot him. He let him burn a while, and yeah. Oh man.
Well, and do you understand now why I said what I said last week? That this is probably the closest to John Wick in a Star Wars movie that we'll ever see.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 Now I do. Oh, okay. There we go. Zoe gets us straightened with the pain. So go to Star Wars Geek Girl and learn more about Star Wars. There's almost 11 years of podcasts to listen to, which is pretty impressive for a podcast. But yeah, it was kind of neat because you had John Wick at the beginning, you had Rambo there in the middle. You know, when he was running through the woods and just chasing people down with whatever guns he could pick up. So yeah, I thought
Well,
it
there
was
was more John Wick at the Salt Bar.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, the
Yeah,
salt
so
bar.
this movie I think was less in the space battle Star Wars and more the hand to hand kind of combat of Star Wars.
Yeah, but I think, and part of it is I think you almost need a movie like this because if they do go to season 4, everyone seems to have heard of Mando, but we've never seen any of his really, really super duper exploits. Like now it thinks like when that guy was like, "Oh yeah, I've heard of you." Like he's known not by his name, he's known as the Mandalorian, you know, um, which I think is pretty cool, you know. So yeah, I like it that they did that because now it just makes him, you know, even more valuable slash, you know, I still want to just see I still would like to see the adventure of the week. I'd love a season where it's just the adventure of the week, like almost like a Scooby-Doo season of The Mandalorian. You know, like him and Grogu are just putting around town and they solve a mystery or sits and then it just ends with like, you know, I'd love to see something like that.
Yeah, not all of those mysteries necessarily have to tie to the larger conflict. They can in small ways. They don't necessarily have to be, connected to the return of Thrawn or
Right.
to the larger thing. Even though this movie did plant many seeds for that larger conflict that we're
Oh,
going
definitely.
to see in Ahsoka and the possibility of of all of them being on the screen at once. I mean, imagine you've got Ezra Bridger with Vanessa Marshall, or sorry, with Elizabeth as Hera. You've got Sabine. You've got Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka. You've got Pedro Pascal as Din Djarin. You have the puppeteers as Grogu, and you have Rada the Hutt
Right.
all, and Zeb all on screen at once.
And a bag of charcoal could play um
Geoda.
Kanan.
Ooh, he's more dust.
Oh, I'm just kidding. Too soon, too soon.
Would he be dust or would he be charcoal? Yeah, it's hard to say.
So yeah, no, that's I mean, there's just a lot of good stuff. Now, here's the other big question. The big question is dragons take out fatty liver disease. Plenty of imps to take out, yes. Um, popcorn buckets. How many have you bought so far?
None.
Oh, good. I'm still on the none. I'm on the none. I'm on the none. I'm trying. I tell you that backpack from Galaxy's Edge.
But that's not a popcorn bucket. That's
I
a
that
sipper.
that's probably the closest one that's like, oh man, but um,
No, if I were to get one, I would try to get to, I think it's AMC. They've got a pram. They've got a Grogu pram. I
oh
think that one I would. The, the AT-AT I think was like $90.
yeah, I saw that and I was like, I like the AT-AT, but
Not for $80.
yeah. Well, he got one. Spartan got one. So, you know, um, but yeah, I like I would say the AT-AT was one of my favorite. Um, I did like the helmet, but I was like, I got helmets. I just counted. I should have kept. I should have remembered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think I have 12 Mandalorian helmets as of right at the moment. Mando type helmets. So I gotta stay away from them. It really burns me when I talk about Kanan like that. All right.
Toasty.
Well, but yeah, the buckets are I love them. So I don't knock anyone that gets them. I just someone has to buy off some of my other buckets before I buy any other buckets. I just have
And speaking of buckets, if you think about it, um, bring the Rex helmet on Saturday.
oh yes, that's on my list of things to forget.
Okay.
So it's sitting in a bag marked Ken. So it is sitting there.
'Cause I don't know if you've got a slushy party planned for the summer or not.
I don't know. I got to look at my summer. Right now, I just have to get through the last 2 weeks with middle school students because I think they're trying to mentally destroy me at this point. So maybe I'll wear my hip hop trooper to school one day just to mess with them.
Only if you wear the 6'7" necklace instead of the.
That's true. That's true. Oh yeah, there we yeah. Zoe got the one with Mando with Grogu on the shoulder when she went to the screening. She's going to use it as a flower pot. Well, Anthony, I'm with you on that, except that I have a daughter who's a Mandalorian, so that's what got me hooked on these Mandalorian. Actually, I guess I have one more because there's another Sabine helmet out in California, which is Zoe's. But I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stormtrooper helmets, 2 TIE pilots, and an animated AT-AT helmet. So I just have a problem, I think, with helmets. So I didn't reach my goal of tons of clone helmets, but that's
for another podcast.
It's another podcast. I'm gonna have a yard sale here soon. This room here, I'm doing a clean out of just the little stuff to make more room for helmets. So yeah, everything has to get which do I like? Do I like this more than a helmet? That's going to be the question. Like, is it cake? It's going to be, is it worth a helmet? And,
Nice.
But
What do you think of the soundtrack?
Huh?
What
Oh,
did you
that's
think?
what I meant to talk about. The music was ridiculous. I loved it. And then that techno, whatever that techno theme music they put in at certain times, I don't know what that's called, but I loved it. I don't know what it like. It felt different, but in a good way.
Well, it all seemed to fit within, I think, within the show and what has come before it in the other episodes as well.
Yeah. But yeah, it had that everything had like its own little techno theme, like that kind of went in. I don't know. I just really liked that. Oh, there's a 3D print of the AT-AT bucket. Oh yeah, Zoe, I did like that too. I liked it to know that even in the Empire, people are like, "That's not my job." So, yeah, I really like the soundtrack. I really and did you see the album? It looks like his helmet.
It looks like his helmet, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they have a couple versions of the album, but I've been listening to that off and on since then. I think the album came out the week I was in California. The soundtrack came out then, and I've been listening to it off and on. It's funny because in the first or second track, they actually Ludwig manages to turn the alarm song sounds into music. So you've got one alarm, and then it meshes with another alarm, so they go back and forth. It was really cool to listen to that on the soundtrack, taking just an alarm sound, the klaxon, and making it musical.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just a good. We could do a whole soundtrack episode, I think. But the couple points were brought up in the thing. Anthony says, and only a couple likes. Yeah, give us some likes. Okay. Me and Ken don't understand this whole podcast thing, but some likes will make us feel nice, warm, and fuzzy. Because, subscribers, that'd be nice. We haven't done a pitch show yet of just, hey, give us some likes and subscribes and stuff like that.
I think for our next episode, considering Mandalorian and Grogu will still be in the theaters, we should take some bits and pieces from the reviews and either find evidence from the movies that we think supports those things or to debate it. So for instance, one of the things I read and heard was that this movie has no ties to the larger galactic battle or the larger galactic conflict, which I don't agree with, which I don't believe, but they put it in this review as if it's truth.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, yeah, I don't understand that at all. Because what the other theme of this movie that I thought was really cool, and maybe it's because I grew up, my grandparents and I got stuck watching old, like late 40s, early 50s war movies. And there was always those certain movies that they felt true to life, but they didn't really make sense. They were just kind of stuck to fit into the time period. They didn't, and I felt this give me that same, that it was happening at a time and what they were doing was important, but you couldn't draw a line to it because that wasn't the part of the story. Like we don't care like what General so and so did, but it shows that what people are doing behind the scenes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then it reminded me a little bit. There was a podcast listened to years ago. I'm sure it's still on the feed. About the Nazi hunters right after World War II, going after the war criminals that the bigger government couldn't. And it had a little bit of a taste of that, where they were just like, look, we just need to get these people. They need to come, be accountable for all the things they did, which I thought was kind of cool. I did like at the beginning where he threw all those pistols to the people, and they didn't really put up much of a fight, like
Well, they put up no fight.
one Mandalorian comes in and they're just like, they didn't even try, like no one, I
Well,
thought
let's
that
think
was,
about this though. Before that happened, that warlord blasted somebody in the chest because he had the audacity to question the warlord.
yeah,
You
to,
think the rest of
the
these
price
people are
tag.
gonna risk their life to protect this guy who is legitimately just running away?
Yeah,
Like, come on.
yeah,
I'm
that was,
waiting to see some more of those all-terrain mouse droids somewhere
oh yeah.
with the
I'm
big,
sure
big
there's at
wheel
least a half
tires.
dozen people driving them around already. So, um, I'm sure the droid builders have, someone in the droid builders already has one. Yeah, it was good. I mean, there was just, I would recommend, I'd like to see it in the theater at least one more time, just depending on the schedule. Because I got He-Man coming up. So, and I know it's not Star Wars, but
Is that June or is this month?
next Wednesday, I'm going to see it.
Oh,
They're doing an early screening. So, oh yeah, so I won't be here next Wednesday. You'll be on your own.
all right. I'll have to. Maybe I can get Todd to come on.
Yeah, get Todd to come because I'll be watching. I'll be going to see He-Man. I saw the date early, booked my tickets. I was like, oh crap, that's on a Wednesday. Because for some reason I was thinking it was a Monday when I got the tickets, and then I realized, yeah. So, yeah, I could take a whole Anzellan series. Like I could take like a holiday. That's what they need, a holiday Anzellan special. Like them
Yeah.
getting ready for Life Day, like a whole bunch of people putting in orders for stuff for Life Day. I picture the Anzellans are busy. Like everyone wants to get the rides boosted up or get their wife's speeder hooked up. I
Yeah,
picture
possibly.
Anzellan Life Day. Zoe wants us to get Herman a Anzellan chew toy. But it would only be a good chew toy if it talked to the dog while it was biting it. So.
I think it's funny that all four of those Anzellans have names.
Yeah. Well, again, there was whole parts of that movie where there were no human beings anywhere to be seen, costume or not, because most of the only humans was Sigourney Weaver, a couple of the bad guys, and Din Djarin.
No, there was the pilots from the Delphi
Right,
Station.
but I'm saying, but that was just some short, sequences. But most of the movie was just, I mean, we got Dave Filoni. We had that whole table was just all the directors, which I thought was pretty funny. Um,
That and one of Dave Filoni's lines was straight out of, Empire Strikes Back. We found him. Or
yeah, yeah.
whatever.
That should be the new Wilhelm scream. Everyone they should just be we found them. It could be like anything like, hey, does anyone know where I put my keys? To the X-wing? Oh, we found them.
We found him.
So yeah. I recommend going and seeing it again and again. Any closing thoughts, Ken?
So I'll just repeat that. Go see it again and again and again, and every time you go, look for something different,
Yeah. Yeah.
and not look for something different that you wish had been in it. Look at what's there, or listen to what's there, because there were times where there was no soundtrack, and it was just the stuff that was going on in the scene.
All the Grogu scenes when he's in the jungle, like they were just beautiful. Like him sitting on that was a throwback to Yoda, I think, sitting on that
Well, or it could have been a throwback to Kermit the Frog.
That's true
'Cause
too.
I was waiting for him to break out into singing the Rainbow Connection when he was sitting in that swamp.
But wasn't there a painting or something of Yoda sitting there like right around Empire Strikes Back? I think it was like a book cover or something like that.
I don't know if it was a book cover or it might have been one of McQuarrie's concept arts.
Maybe.
But yeah, it's definitely possible.
Yeah.
You know, and each movie just shows us more and more creatures that could be in one of those wildlife TV shows that we talk about a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, the background props. I mean, sometimes I'm sitting there thinking and I'm like, someone's looking at that, because that's what I liked about that movie and all the movies is some of the stuff is just intentional, because they're using the volume, but some of it's just they probably hired someone to dress a set, and now
Well, I think you might be surprised at how much practical stuff there is. I mean,
right.
um,
But I'm saying even the stuff like they had to dress the cantina of the base. So they had set dressers. So now all those pieces, people are hunting those down. Like, where'd I get that mug? Where'd I get that glass? What chair is this? And you know what I mean? Like, everyone's looking for all those parts, which is that's just so much of the fun too.
yeah, and I will say this is not a dig. This is not a disappointment. It's just a wish. I wish I could have gone to the production set.
Yeah.
A bunch of the Mercs went,
yeah.
and they came back with, and I'm still waiting to get access to their photographs. They said they took hundreds of photographs and videos from there.
Yeah, the closest I ever got to that was when they had them at Anaheim, when they set them all up for, I think it was the Book of Boba Fett and Mando.
Oh, the Mandalorian experience.
They set that up, and that's as close as I think I'll probably ever get to something like that. I'm hoping that maybe they'll take some of those set pieces and have in LA next year, that we can go
cool
to go take a look.
And that could be. I know many years ago, many years ago, they did a traveling show of Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, because it came to Franklin Institute in Philadelphia.
Yep, and that was just part of it. I mean, they had so many other things. Even a few years ago in New York City, they had an entire display of the costumes and things like that. And they have so many of these things in the vault at Skywalker Ranch and stuff like that. That that could very easily be a traveling museum to
Yeah.
for folks to go and witness and everything. But for that production set tour, I mean, they gave them the opportunity to sit in the cockpit of the Razor Crest and to see all the weapons displays and to.
Well, Ken, you'll get to go next. You've taken your first step. You've got on that first tier. Now maybe you'll get to the next tier.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe this show can be the way that we get there, because there were so many what's that for influencers and content creators and all of that kind of stuff that were invited out for this movie.
Yeah.
And for the Lucas Museum, there are some things there. From what I've heard, one of the things that's going to be there is Grievous's wheel bike
Yeah.
and an N1 Starfighter, but the N1 Starfighter from Phantom Menace and not from Book of Boba Fett or
Yeah.
Mandalorian.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that museum. I've seen the outside. I've walked around and stuck my head in through the fence, but I can't wait to see that museum too. So
Yeah, so to go back to your question, anything else I want, watch it, watch it, watch it, watch it, and
yeah,
you know, and listen to us talk about it because we could be talking about it for weeks, if not longer.
yeah. Well, we'll be talking about it again. I won't be here next week because I'm going to go see He-Man. So it's just my duty to see. It's my cousin, so I'm taking my cousin Craig. I took him to see his first Batman movie when he was a little kid, and so I was like, I saw it, got tickets, and he's also the one that I mailed him He-Man hair last year. I 3D printed the plastic He-Man hair for the figure, and I sent it in a box to him and marked it from Castle Grayskull, Eternia, stuff like that. I mailed it to him just out of the blue, and
Oh,
he
that's
called.
funny.
He's like, hey, so well, okay, panels for celebration. So we will try. I know Zoe's putting in for a panel.
Have
Zoe
they
will
already
probably
opened
go,
up submissions?
huh?
Have they opened up submissions for
Not
panels?
yet. They probably won't open those up till fall if it's anything like previous timelines. But Zoe has done a panel since she's done a panel at every celebration since Orlando. She's had a panel. So Orlando, Chicago, Anaheim, London, and Tokyo. So Zoe will probably do a panel. I'm putting in it for a panel for this podcast, and we're putting in for a panel for the 501st cast as well. And Ken better be putting one in for bounty hunting. And if by some chance we don't get a panel, we will find a spot to record a show. I don't know what
Easily.
I don't know what the LA Convention Center is, but I think it's bigger than Anaheim. I'm not sure,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
but we'll figure
Even
out
if we don't
one.
record one there at the celebration,
Right.
we could sit in a cafe
In a
somewhere.
park or so. Yeah. I would recommend if you like podcasts and you want us to do panels, share our podcast, like, subscribe, get your friends to, they don't have to listen, but just like and subscribe. It helps us out because when we have to put the numbers in when we submit, and it just helps. Do it to all your podcasts, whatever podcast you like. So
And I'm still many away from my goal of 1,977. So the more people that can subscribe to our shows, the better.
Oh, okay. Oh, Zoe said she didn't do Europe after Orlando. I forgot about that one. Yeah, I forgot about that one. But you did do London, the other one. But yeah, and I would recommend if you go to Celebration or any Comic-Con, check out the panels, and tell the places that the panels you like. It helps out. Me and Ken have done a couple panels at Fan Expo and we had a blast doing it. And we're going to try to find other shows to do panels at, but it helps because I would say a large percentage of podcasters and YouTubers, we don't do it for this cold hard cash of nothing that we get. We do it for the fun and hopefully people enjoy it. For me, it just makes my Wednesday and my and my love of Star Wars better. But I don't know why Ken does. Ken does it for all that monetary,
all the glory. I do
all
it
the
for
glory.
all of the glory, fame and glory. That's all I'm in it for.
Yep. Yeah. So.
And if folks think about it, if they want to meet us in person, they can show up at Fan Expo Philadelphia this Saturday.
Yeah.
Where we'll both be. We will gladly sign your elbow or get photographs with you.
We might get you to sign something to prove that we have fans.
Yeah. That could be it.
But like Spartan, we met him. Oh man, it May has been a good Star Wars month. I mean, you figure we kicked it off with Galactic Empire. I mean,
and it's just been climbing ever since.
Yeah.
And that's also not to come up with any more excuses than I already come up with for not recording stuff, but I've been so busy either getting ready for something or recovering from something. This May has been just wacky bonkers, off the charts ridiculous. So I'm hoping that it calms down just a little bit so I can sit down at a microphone and record some stuff.
Yeah. So, guys, I appreciate it. We didn't play again. We forgot to play Marcus's trailer, so we will end with Marcus's trailer. Again, if you want to help someone out who is just a really nice guy and make some cool stuff, check out Stomp Monkey's stuff. His stuff is really cool. So, thanks again, everyone. And I won't see you next week, but Ken will.
This is the way.
This is the way.